back in my day, we didn't have fancy tools. We had, you know, a shitty ass welder, all right, and some 110 electricity out of your like mom's garage, and we fabricated these super badass bars. We didn't have fancy bends, so all we did was cut the tube and kind of butt it up to each other and glued it together. Nah, I'm just kidding. So anyway, we're installing the signature Hutch's Welding front crash bar with jack point on Z32. This is I wanted to showcase, this is the old original version 1, probably 15 years old bar that I made very long time ago in my mom's garage with a crappy ass welder. But it did the job for, you know, a few years with all the drifting abuse. But I wanted to kind of showcase the, you know, the progression of fabrication. As you can see, you know, we do things a lot better now. Just progression over time. Just keep practicing, keep fabricating, keep trying new things, and eventually, you know, cool things happen. So anyway, let's throw this away. We don't need this anymore. It's old news. And we'll go and install this jobby. I was buying bad motors. I was half-assing shit. Just kept going through motors, but, you know, learning over time. Eventually got tired of the twin turbo because I got into drifting. Didn't think that was a good platform. The V8 craze was just hitting. I wasn't eligible at the time to afford an LS, so I did a V8 swap, and that's kind of where I learned a lot of my fabrication. I built everything with a Harbor Freight flux core welder. Not everything, but motor mounts, headers, any kind of stupid bracketry, things like that. I did the V8 swap and fabricated, you know, a lot of stuff with that. The cage I outsourced to a buddy of mine, and then the knuckles are also outsourced to another friend of mine to get done. But now we do it all. But back in the day, we didn't. I actually want to show you the headers. So like we were talking about the crash bar, you know, you do them, you learn, you suck, you screw them all up. These are my first ever built headers. All right. Obviously, I didn't do a very good job as far as clearancing goes, so we had to do some heating and a beating. But you know what? They worked. I mean, they sucked, but whatever. We did them. And we actually still have some valve cover VH parts left over. But so fast forward, drifting kind of started dying out. You know, when my buddies started selling all their shit. You know, I think this was time to grow up. So I sold the car. Sold the car to my sister and her boyfriend, which then they started messing around with it. I got tired of it, and they kind of sold it. They kind of sold it off to forget the guy's name, but they sold it locally to Tampa. Then them and my dad got together and decided it'd be a super cool idea to buy the car back. I wasn't really a fan of it at the time because I was over it. I didn't really care about it. I wanted it out of my life. So somehow, some way, this car is back in my life. But at this stage, my dad owns it. It's his car. He drives it. He drifts it, and I just kind of maintain and do any kind of, you know, miscellaneous fab work. Again, this is some old fab work right here. This is back in the day stuff. I'd say it's probably, you know, a good 5+ years old. Crashed the back of it a long time ago. You know, cut it. Did a tube rear. You know, back when tubular rears were kind of starting to get popular, but. When we did the LS swap, no room for the radiator, so we decided to put it out back. AccuSump I highly recommend because I've spun so many bearings that when I put one of the replacement VH back in, I decided to go AccuSump as well as a fabricated oil pan. But anyway, that's your quick history lesson. Still got these super old school HKS high power part cans. I don't know how these things are still alive. I think I've smashed this tip. I rebent that back into place. Yeah, and the reason for the LS, I think finally, you know, I think when they got the car back, they ended up blowing the VH up, and you know, my dad's like, let's do something good. Let's put let's put a solid motor in there. So that's what we got. Z32 tranny, Ford Warner turbo. Again, makes 450, 450. This is what started it all, the love for dimple dyes. Where's it at? My first ever set. Love it. Never went back. All right, so again, thanks for watching. You know, like if you like what you see, do me a favor, give me a like. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Subscribe if you want to just keep following and checking out cool stuff. Words of wisdom: don't suck and just fucking do it.